Rob, your perspective, do you feel it differently?
I can't really add much to that technically. Absolutely correct, Michael. I mean, just from a, Paolo, just to share some of the kind of problems that we're seeing. A lot of customers kind of, when they get into this, feel like they're playing a game of whack-a-mole almost, right? They fix something and something else pops up. Or, trying to fix a leak in your pipes. You put some tape here and the water pops out somewhere else, sort of thing. When we get into fixing the problems, which I know we'll talk about later on, it's then almost like they're chasing the tail, right? You're just constantly having to do something. So it's not even where do you start, it's how do you continually manage. And I think this is just becoming an increasing problem for customers. And Michael's absolutely correct. You can't just use kind of standard CVSS scores, because these days everything is created with a critical vulnerability, right? Even if it's theoretically exploitable, it hasn't been exploited, or if it's exploitable, it's still critical, right? So then you start to look at other things like exploitability and whether there's an active exploit. But even then, all of these things, you'll still be left with thousands of things that are critical, highly exploited with an active attack. And again, where do you start with that? So I think Michael's correct. You have to take that back to yourself as a customer. Things are going to be different in your environment. Depending on what other compensating controls, certain types of attack would be more or less likely to happen in your environment. So only when you start to look at that from a kind of risk perspective tailored to your infrastructure can you then understand, what do I need to fix today versus this week, versus within my standard SLA for my vulnerability management program.
Yeah, absolutely.